Great! So we now have the necessary setup needed to code. The best way to end this module is to launch the most basic program, which is called Hello World. So let's get started. If some of the concepts we will use here will be completely new to you and you do not understand them, it's normal, so don't worry. All of them will be extended and explained in upcoming lessons. In the Welcome window, we click on Create New Project. Then we choose Java. And if the project SDK is not visible, click on New and select the JDK installation folder and click OK. Then click on Next. We can also choose a template to our project, which is a ready-made class created by IDE, which will give us what we want to achieve. We will skip that choice for now and do everything manually. So click Next. We can name our project as Hello World, give it a location, and then click Finish. Our IDE will generate a basic structure to the project, which we can see in the Project tab on the left. For now, the most important folder is SRC, meaning source, in which we will be putting our code. Let's create a class Hello World in this folder. We right-click the SRC folder and then select New and Java class with a name Hello World. Next, we write our code, which will be the starting point of our program. For this, I will use a shortcut named PSVM, like this. You can see the basic definition of a public Java class. Public, meaning it is widely available for use to other programmers in their source codes. A class is a place which allows you to define a code that stores information on the state of a given object and its behavior. By state, we mean characteristics like the color of a car, for example, whereas by behavior, we mean what the given object can do, like for example a car can ride, a man can walk or run, a dog can bark. It is very important to note that the class should have the exact same name as the file name. Even the capital letters must be taken into account. Public static void main. This is a method that is open to the public, meaning it can be called from any given place outside of the class Hello World. It is static, which I'll explain later on, and it doesn't return any value, so it is void. Methods are the parts of code in which we can carry out certain commands and at the end get a return value, like a number or a text, or not return anything, like in the case of the method main, as it is void. Main, written without a capital letter, is the name of the method. Main is not a name given at random, as it comes from the fact that the running of any program in Java begins by this method. If you don't define this method in your source code, then the application will not run. Main, just like a mathematical function, has an argument. String, in this case, defines a certain type of data, and the square brackets indicate that it's an array, so a collection of values. Args is the name we usually use, but you might as well change it to, for example, x, y, z, and the program would still function. Using string args, we can pass command line arguments to our program. Let's write a command in method main, which will print hello world in the console. systemoutprintln is a command which allows for a text to be displayed on the console of a Windows computer, for example. Println is a method defined in another class called printstream of the standard Java class library. So as you can see, methods, just like our method main, can be called upon in different places and can be used by other programmers. Hello world is the argument of the method println. You can see that we write it with double quotation marks. Also, pay attention to the semicolon at the end of this line. It's needed to mark the end of a given command. Without it, you won't be able to compile and run your program. Notice the usage of curly brackets. They mark where a class begins and where it ends, where the method main begins and where it ends. We can also use them to increase the readability of code, but we'll talk about that in another lesson. All the white space, like the space key and tab key, do not have a meaning, so you technically could write the whole program in one really long line, but obviously that wouldn't be very easy to decipher. Okay, now that the code is written, how do you test if it's working? We'll do it in two different ways. When we verified the Java installation, there were two commands, Java and javac. In our IDE, when we right-click on any area in our project, we'll see the option Open in Terminal. If we click on it, a new window will open, where we will be directed to the path from which the option was chosen. The terminal we see is the exact same terminal that you would use via CMD on Windows, Linux, etc. In order to compile the class, we wrote execute the command javac hello world.java. After executing this command, a new hello world file should appear, but with the extension .class. It is a file ready for execution in JVM. And so, to execute it, we need to write a second command, which is java and hello world. You should now see the print in your console. And in this way, we have manually compiled and then run our program. In everyday programming, the process of building and running is usually operated by IDE, but it's important for you to know how it happens underneath and how to do it manually. So this was the first way to test our code. The second way is to see how the whole process works in IntelliJ. To run it, we use the green arrow at the upper right, which is inactive right now, or next to method main. Notice how the structure of the project looks like before and after having clicked on the arrow. The out folder has appeared, in which we can find the compiled class hello world, while on the console we have our hello world. With every click on the arrow, the project is first built and then the result is put in the target folder and run. You wrote and launched your first Java program. Congratulations! What you need to know after this lesson is to create a class with the method main and run a program displaying whatever text you want in the console.